I'm recording here a shortened version of a keynote I gave at the 4th Global Conference on Nursing Science Education and Research, October 10th, 2023, on this topic that's so important to me. Posting it here on my website so that you can view it and get an idea of the work that I do. I've spent most of my nursing career in academia with clinical specialty in community public health nursing. And as a community public health clinician, I worked in a variety of settings with disenfranchised populations. In those settings, my work was embedded in helping underserved individuals navigate complex problems in a system that did not address their needs. I believe that passion for serving the underserved is what drew me to supporting NCLEX success. Individuals who fail NCLEX are underserved. And if you're watching this as somebody who has found my website or my YouTube channel because you have not passed on NCLEX, you'll probably share the experience of not knowing where to turn, not having your needs be met by anything that is in place. These are the learning outcomes for the presentation that I gave. Let me move so that you can see them. I've been working in the space of supporting NCLEX success for over a decade, and I've worked with students who have not tested ready, and I've also worked with graduates of nursing programs who have experienced NCLEX failures. In this presentation, I am going over the impact of NCLEX failure and why it's not fair to say that if somebody doesn't pass NCLEX, they shouldn't be a nurse. So I did provide an overview of the numbers because this presentation was early October 2023. I only had first half of 2023 data, but these are the National Council of State Boards of Nursing pass rates for all U.S. educated candidates. And I note here there was a slight increase as the next generation NCLEX rolled out. And although we want to be optimistic about that, we also can see here, this is the trend of first-time pass rates. I know these numbers on the axis are difficult to see, but this is the 70, 80, 90, 100%, and this is starting in the first quarter of 2011. So you see these fluctuations are not uncommon. There's no reason for us to expect that because pass rates went up, they're going to stay up. But it also informs the issue that even though we have 87% pass rate, that still means that we had 17,770 individuals who graduated from nursing school and took their NCLEX in the first half of 2023 and didn't pass. That's why we're concerned. I also do work in the practical nurse space and was showing that these numbers are similar in terms of pass rate, the increase. But again, these are the numbers of individuals who are left without anywhere to turn. I show why first-time pass rate is important. First of all, it is a benchmark for School of Nursing approval. And if your School of Nursing met the benchmark and you fell outside of the numbers for reading the benchmark, the School of Nursing probably has nothing for you. There are significant psychological consequences. You may be experiencing them. These are documented in the literature, and my work has informed that they're all true. The psychological effects are depression, isolation, anxiety, hopelessness, powerlessness. I have a few things to say about that a little bit later on. There are financial consequences. You may have lost your job, or maybe you didn't get into the workforce because you knew you were at risk for NCLEX success, and now your student loans are kicking in, big financial consequences. There are nursing workforce issues that I did talk about in the keynote and have in the references, but I'm not going to go into them here for the purpose of this presentation to you. basically it means you're lost to the workforce right now. And then the other important thing is that repeat pass rates are low. If you've had more than one attempt, you may be aware of this. These, again, repeat pass rates for the United States for RNs and practical nurse. You can see that less than 50% pass rate for RN repeaters, less than 40% pass rate for practical nurse repeaters. Okay, so I don't have to go into a lot of detail about the NCLEX that this audience needed at the keynote. You're likely familiar with it. You've already taken it. But the important thing here is the CAT testing format. I know I keep moving my camera around so you can see the slides, but the CAT testing format, that you have to be answering questions at passing level and or above passing level. If you miss a passing level question, you drop down below. This is a really important aspect for the work that I do, because I work with many individuals who have not been successful on NCLEX, and their reason for success for not passing isn't because they don't know the content or can't apply the content to clinical. The reason is they can't focus for the amount of time that it takes to complete the NCLEX exam. And they make reading errors or analysis errors. They miss a passing level content question and drop down below. It is particularly important for test takers who go beyond the 85 questions, because then that's when your panic sets in and you're more likely to lose focus, to have your anxiety interfere with being successful. And I've also worked with a number of individual clients who have been practicing practical nurses or expert clinicians, but they let their knowledge gaps in certain areas be unaddressed. So then they're missing passing level content in those areas, and that's putting them below passing level. These are some examples in my work of reasons why individuals are not successful in NCLEX, not having anything to do with their actual ability to be a good nurse, right? High stakes exam elicits test anxiety. We know that nursing school incites test anxiety. We see lots and lots of individuals that start nursing school as calm, chill, relax, and the competition, the stress for progression, all of that just accelerates anxiety. It spills over to test anxiety. Then we move into the high stakes NCLEX test. When you have anxiety, you're in fight or flight. Your brain is just focusing on core survival, and that affects retention, and it affects content retrieval. It affects focus. So not having a plan to manage NCLEX test anxiety is something that can contribute to NCLEX failure. Life gets in the way. Maybe you've had something that happened near the end of your nursing school career or before your NCLEX. I gave lots of examples in my keynote presentation about clients that I've worked with one thing or another that just got in the way, and then it delayed them, and then it's a year later and they're retesting. Again, not a good plan for success. Focus, I've mentioned, a big factor, and I have a chapter in my book about how to improve your focus. I also have meditation tapes on my website that are specific for meditation, for NCLEX retest prep, for focusing during testing practice sessions, for preparing for your NCLEX. You have to have some strategy for addressing and calming your mind, and that strategy is best to put in place as you're preparing for NCLEX and on your test day. You can't just say, I'm going to focus on my test day. You really have to do work to improve your focus all through your NCLEX prep. Now, the literature does cite that the most common factor contributing to NCLEX difficulty is knowledge gaps. And in my experience, this is somewhat true. I've worked with many clients, however, who have had test-taking strategy weaknesses that impacted them more than knowledge gaps. But in order to apply clinical decision making to questions, the bottom line is you have to know the content. And so addressing knowledge gaps is pivotal to retest success. The CAT test will find your knowledge gaps. There's just no way around it. It's not like playing the lottery. And in my coaching work, and again in my book, I have information that can help you find your knowledge gaps and address them, with an emphasis on the NCLEX need to know knowledge, the things that are going to drop you down below passing level if you don't know them. So I don't have to tell you about the experience of NCLEX failure. The psychological consequences are devastating. I went into a good bit of detail in my keynote. Like I said, probably don't have to tell you that, but know that you're not alone if you're feeling really isolated and alone with nowhere to turn. So what we need to do is step in and provide support. And in my work, I really have done work to advance this message for schools of nursing and for hospitals that hire graduate nurses. We need to provide support. We need to really address the needs for individuals who have had an unsuccessful attempt. I do have a consulting practice where I work with schools of nursing, helping them identify and implement best practice strategies for improving NCLEX readiness. But you may be one of the nursing school graduates who did fine in nursing school and had a great GPA and found yourself not being successful in NCLEX. That happens too. So it's not a be all and end all. There are also other interventions that nursing schools can implement. These are some interventions that I have worked with and have published about, providing a support course for students who identify risk really early on, one-on-one faculty coaching. And that's something that I did when I worked with students who were high risk. And that just one-on-one really made a difference, really being able to sit down with somebody with expertise. I, at the time had expertise in NCLEX readiness and NCLEX success. So really helping people navigate what they need to do individually. And I do have the publication about that one-on-one faculty coaching on the reference list that I can show you, but we had tremendous success with that, and it's now being carried on at the college where I retired from. I now do this work full time. I also have written an article that is for hospitals that hire new graduates, and it outlines coaching for supporting success for graduate nurses who are unsuccessful. And I also have my book, which if you've been on my website, if this is your first time here, maybe your first time seeing it, it is a book available both in paperback and Kindle, outlines all of the methods that I've used. And I've had clients who have stumbled onto my website. They've gotten the book. It provides them everything that they need. And I have other clients who look at the book and say, this is helpful for me, but I still need some one-on-one coaching, and I do that as well. So whatever your practice setting, look for opportunities to help and support anyone who has been unsuccessful in NCLEX. That's my message to the wide audience. That was my message at this nursing keynote talk. But my message for you is I am available if you need support, and you can contact me through the website. So these are the references for my presentation, and here you can see the 3 most recent publications that I have that outline this work.